obviously in our preparation for the Chiefs, and that's what's really where our focus is right now, because they deserve that. They're an excellent football team and as formidable as of an opponent as it gets, and so that's where all of our focus is. But you also you've got to strike when the opportunity's there, and I can't tell you how excited we are to have landed Christian McCaffrey as part of our team. We've been working on it for some time, and it all came to fruition last night, and it did take a lot to get him, but I think he's worthy of that, and he's that kind of player. Before I open up the question, I'll just add, you only do this when you have belief in your team as it's constructed. The previous time we made a big splash like this was Emmanuel Sanders back in 19, because we felt like we had the team capable of competing for the whole deal. And we're 3-3 now, so I think we were 6-0 when we did that. We're 3-3 now, so we understand we have a lot of work to do. This isn't a magic pill. That's not going to fix all of our ills as a team, one player. We've all got to get better, but we do still very much believe in this team, and that's why we took a swing at an excellent football player. With that, I'll open it up for questions.
You said,
John, as best you can you kind of take us through the timeline? Did these conversations start when you were not there, or just how did it kind of?
Started at the Greenbrier mat. Right after we had played them. I had seen Scott in person, and at the Scott Fitter, their GM, at the Carolina game, and said, let's catch up this week. We were off at the Greenbrier. We started having conversations. You really are trying to just gather information. Is he available? If so, what's the ballpark of what it's going to take? And started really having conversations with Kyle. Spending a lot of time with Kyle. What do you think? In every sense, and really why you want to keep things like this quiet. All facets of your organization, the analytics, contracts. We look at it from every aspect, and everything just seemed to align that it was a really good fit. And we've long appreciated his game. Obviously, there's a lot of ties there, but I think if there were no ties, you turn on the film and you see this kid's an excellent football player. So we're fortunate to have him.
I think he played 86% of the snaps in that game in Week 5, which is about what he plays normally. What was mileage a concern, and mileage going forward a concern? And did you discuss kind of capping his snaps or anything like that moving forward?
No, we discussed it all. But we just saw a player. I mean, first of all, you got to look at his history coming out of Stanford. Really a pristine health record. The last couple of years have been rough, but it really felt like this year he had reestablished that health, and had really found that. And I've been there in my own career. Started off and struggled to stay on the field, then went 8-9 years without missing a game. And so sometimes there's those ebbs and flows. You can never have complete certainty on that. That's beyond our control. But you try to make the best decisions you can. He has played a lot of football this year, and he's played really good football. He's done that throughout his career, and he's a extremely versatile player. He's an explosive football player. He's a smart football. I could go on, and he checks all the boxes.
John, you mentioned contracts as part of the discussion. How palatable is his number past this year, and do you envision this being more of a long-term arrangement as part of this?
Well, I think there were some dynamics to that. First of all, because he had done a conversion earlier this year, he was incredibly cheap. I think the compensation was going to be higher because of that. It's not every day that you get a guy like Christian at the minimum, and that's essentially where we got him. But he still has years on his contract after that. So I think we're taking it step by step, but obviously that helps to know that a guy's got some years after this year, and it's not just a 11 game, for lack of a better word, rental.
John, how seriously did you have to weigh allocating those draft picks and resources to other spots, maybe on the defensive line or in the secondary, where you have injury issues, maybe greater needs?
Well, I think we've really tried to build this thing the right way, and we value picks. I think a lot of people, there's maybe a belief that some people don't value picks. We certainly value our picks, and I think that's why we could entertain doing something like this. We have a lot of our core locked up. That's not to say you don't have holes that you have to fill from year to year, and it's really hard to part with draft picks, because I like our process and I like our ability to identify people that fit with us. But when you have an opportunity to a player like this, it just that's what we had to challenge with ourselves with, and we did. And ultimately, we said let's try to make it happen, and we did.
Along those lines, you still have picks, but just not in the first and second round. How much does the success of your process, scouting department, finding those gems in the later rounds, how much did that buoy your confidence here to move forward without those early round picks?
I mean, that's the thing. After practice today, we'll get on a Zoom with all our college scouts, and just this morning trying to anticipate. Are they excited? Are they bummed? Because here goes all their, guys. My message is going to be this all the more. We have to make these picks count, and so, we're fortunate. Some different avenues, through minority coaches that have brought us some picks. I think that empowers you to maybe do something like this, because you have a couple of comp threes and maybe getting more in the future, things of that nature. But ultimately, you weigh everything, and just felt, because of our belief in our team and what we feel we can do, and what he does for us as a football team, you try to make a move like this, and it broke our way.
Did you?
The compensation you give him and his cost and the position he plays, and running backs, realize it's special, right?
Yeah.
Can fall off the 7
Sure.
I mean, a lot of people would say, this looks like, he's a gamble. Do you view it as such?
Well, I think everything's a gamble, I think hopefully it's a well thought out gamble, and you put a lot of thought into it. I know we have. I'd also say I believe, like a lot of really good players, he's a lot more than just a running back, and I think he's a perfect player for the way Kyle and our offensive staff does things. I think he brings a lot more than just running back skills. He's an incredibly accomplished receiver. He's got tremendous feel. He can play with speed. He can play with power. He can play with quickness. He can do it all, and we've seen that firsthand playing against him. You've seen it right up to the last game he played. He's an excellent football player. There's no denying that, and we like adding guys like that to the mix.
To see him on Sunday?
That I just got, brought him in here, got his cleats, got his helmet. I just got off a plane, passed a physical. It's a tall order, right? And we're going to do what's right by Christian, what's right by our team. I do think that's a tall order, but, we'll see how much we can accelerate this. He's asking to. Like he said, you guys will talk to him later. Like, this is just a road game. I've practiced twice this week. I got on a plane. I came out here. I'll leave that to the coaches and whatnot to get Christian up to speed. But, I do think it's a tall order, and we sure love to have him, but it's a lot to ask. So we'll make very thought out decision on that as well. Go ahead.
What factors will go into that decision?
Well, I think that will be a coaching decision. We do a lot before the ball's even snapped, so I think there's a lot of layers to that. But a lot of different factors. But I think first and foremost, physically, are you in position? He's scrambling out there to want to get into practice, and you take him to the side. You say, let's make sure we warm up, and let's take this thing step by step. And but every game is so important, so you battle all these things, and you just got to let the right people weigh in and make a good decision for Christian's best interest and for ours as a team.
John, I think part of this, he just can't go to the Rams. Just can't let him go to the Rams.
I'm glad he's not there. And that's always an interesting question, because I always say, hey guys, it's about us. That's how I was raised. That's the way Tony Dungy talked. It's about us. If you're so focused on your opponents, you're not going to do very well. But I also know the fastest way to success in our league is winning your division. And So in part, it seems like a lot of these situations end up where it's us against them in these things, and I'm sure glad he's here and not there.
That auction yesterday, I mean, where there's like a matter of like, okay, none of it.
Yeah, I wish I was trying to, because I know their propensity to come in late and go big, and so I was trying to get it done before, but that wasn't going to happen. Scott Fitter was tremendous to work with. I think their owner was never on the phone with me, but very involved, and I don't think he much cared how we valued things. I think he's a numbers guy who sees things a certain way, and so we had to be patient, wait it through, and ultimately weigh it at the end of the day if it was a good decision for us, and ultimately we felt it was.
About how much he liked Christian in 2017. Looking back, how close were you guys to doing this at that time?
Oh gosh, there's so many different dynamics. Do you take them there? Do you move back and maybe take them? And ultimately, we made the decision we made. But we were joking with him today that we just had to get things right before we brought him in here. So it took 6 years to do that and get everything nice and primed for him. And we got him here, and that's a good thing. It is weird, the connections. I mean, remember vividly throwing balls to Eddie, when I was a quarterback and he was a receiver at Stanford. I remember, being at parties, fraternity parties with Lisa and Ed when they first started dating and things like that. So it goes back, and obviously the Shanahan's dynamics, but this is much bigger than that. Keep saying it, but it is the respect I have for him, having seen our teams play against him and seeing him he's a fabulous football player in every respect, and I think he brings a mindset that we like too. I think he's a fit in every way. The type of mindset, you talk to people who've played with him, who've coached him, there's an accountability that he brings, like the great players do, that has an effect that it's a force multiplier. It makes everyone around him better, and so we're going to take it as it comes. We're not going to force anything, but all of those things went into us making this decision to try to land him.
Any switch or any change in just the philosophy on how you view running backs? Because it seems like you've had success with undrafted guys, and here in the last 2 years, third-round draft picks invested in running backs, and now this move.
Yeah, we've taken our swings at them, because we feel it's really important to the way we play, and Kyle often says, at the end of last year with Elijah and Debo, we had a Pro Bowl, all-pro type running game, and we're encouraged by some of the younger guys. Jeff Wilson's a heck of a back, as we're seeing. He's getting his opportunity. He's shining. So we like our group. That is a tough position, and we like using them all in a variety of ways. So we just like continuing to add to that dynamic. And I do feel like this guy has an ability to do kind of all of the above. And so not just a running back, we can use him. He and Debo, to me, are very similar players. And so I'm excited to see what we draw up. But first, we got a lot to focus on with the Chiefs. And so we just got to take this thing step by step. But can't tell you how excited. And the locker room, I think it gave that. I really believe it gave the locker room a jolt when he walked in there today. It was fun to see that dynamic as well.
A lot of rising salary cap. I mean, guys whose cap hits are going to go up quite a bit. I assume you want to keep those with the extension.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
So when you add this salary, do you see right now, as currently constructed, the path forward, or there have to be some financial gymnastics to make it work?
Yeah, I think obviously those things go into it. There's flexibility, there's options, and you take all those things into account. I think we have a plan now. When you add something like this, you can't just keep doing this over and over and over again. But we feel like we can make it work, and we'll go down that. We'll obviously have put a lot of thought into it, but there's going to be some inflection points where we have to figure some things out, and we will. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. He is on the field right now. Yeah.